What's up guys, your driver Mike here, back with another video. We are typically driver focused, helping you to maximize your earnings and ratings on the road. Well, today we're mixing it up a little bit. We're talking about what you need to do to be a 5-star Uber passenger. So if you open the current version of the Uber passenger app, we see where to. Even Uber wants to know what's the destination. My first tip, guys, have the destination entered. And if you have any changes or any stops, just let us know. Makes things a lot easier. So customer service is, of course, paramount for us drivers. Now, the thousands of passengers that I've had in the car, basically everyone wants to be seen as being on their best behavior, honestly. And I'm kind of the same way when I take rides. Everyone wants to be seen as behaving and being rated well. And I think that's a good tip. Provide good customer service back to the driver, or even generally, just be in a good mood and just carry on light conversation if you like. Now, I do specialize in helping UberX drivers. A big tip for passengers, do not have more than 4 passengers. Now, it does say in the app, UberX can carry a maximum of 4 passengers. We have to have 4 seatbelts in an UberX car to qualify to drive on the system. So on a passenger sense, just make sure you don't have more than 4 passengers, because we have to mark that A, as a cancellation, which you are going to get a cancellation fee if it's applicable in your market, but B, it's not safe, and it says in the app that we can't take more than 4 passengers. Now, if you don't get a cancellation, sometimes the 5th person may say, well, I'll just walk, I'm not too far away, or I'll just take my own Uber. So if you do take the ride, that can get you lower ratings because the driver is seeing that you're trying to fit more than 4 passengers, and that's not good to do on the Uber platform. If you do have more than 4 passengers, take an Uber XL. These are SUVs and larger equipped cars that can take more than 4 passengers. And honestly, I think it is sometimes an honest mistake, especially in some markets. There's a lot of options for different Ubers to take, and if you're new to the platform, you may not know. Another tip for Uber passengers is, guys, please do not try to bring open alcohol containers into the vehicle. An absolute big way for me to down rate passengers, and I think justifiably so, is trying to illegally bring open containers into your Uber vehicle. A few variables, because I know a lot of times passengers ask me for their rating, which you can see in the app, by the way, and I can put something here to show you real quick. This is how to see your rating. You want to go in your account settings, you want to go into help, and you want to go into I'd like to see my rating. And that will show you your Uber passenger rating. So our passengers ask me for their rating, and I can show them, or I can, when we pull over, or if I can just remember when their request comes through on my phone. Now, a few variables that may get you down rated. Number 1 are drive-through runs. Okay, it's definitely allowable. You can certainly make a stop, but in the heat of busy moments, for us, we don't really get paid much of anything to wait, to really just sit parked basically while we're going through the drive-through. It doesn't pay very well, so some drivers may downrate for that. I've only had maybe 3 or 4 drive-through runs in over 1,700 rides, and those are all bar hour rides, so those people probably want to get some food. Now, I let it because, it is our job to take you to your destination. If you want to make a pit stop, that's part of the ride, and this is your ride. But as far as pulling drivers out of busy time slots and then having to sit in a drive-through, that may get you downrated. Another thing that may get you downrated is multiple unannounced destinations. Now, I know within the Lyft app, within the Uber app, you can make pit stops, basically. You can make other destinations during your route, but if these are unannounced stops, especially, that can get you downrated, because the driver is trying to plan his or her night, basically, and strategy-wise, and kind of measure where demand is shifting and all of that. Now, if you kind of throw that off, or if you throw off the route that they think they're going to take with pit stops, that can get you downrated. And the reason it can get you downrated, again, you're just kind of throwing the driver off. It was unannounced, which really no one likes surprises typically, especially in business. So it's just kind of the common courtesy, something that would be nice to do to announce or just state any pit stops that you may have during your route. One last thing is tipping your driver. Now, tipping is not mandatory. It is definitely appreciated. We always appreciate when a passenger feels the need to tip if we've given exceptional service, good conversation, really just a good experience overall, anything like that, just like we do in any service industry. Now, some drivers may downrate, especially for airport runs or maybe even longer rides, 20 minutes plus, if a passenger doesn't tip. Now, I don't do this as long as someone behaves and isn't causing a nuisance. Basically, I always give 5 stars, but some drivers may downrate for that if you don't tip. So if you're doing a lot of business travel, if you're doing a lot of longer runs, maybe consider tipping your driver. And if you do see your your passenger ratings drop within the passenger app, that may be why. I think that's a smaller percentage of drivers that will actually downrate for that, but there are some that may. So you may not need to worry about it, but that could be a reason why your ratings are down. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Really just good behavior, having the destinations entered, no unannounced pit stops, and tipping is always appreciated. Just kind of basic stuff, but things to remember to be a 5-star Uber passenger. Leave a comment if you have an unexplained low rating, and we can talk about why that may be. And I know if you haven't taken a lot of rides, you may have a low rating and really not be sure why. Sometimes you don't really know, and that's the tricky part. But as you continue to take rides and you follow these suggestions in this video, you should have a strong passenger rating. Alright guys, your driver Mike here. Thanks for watching, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.